This girl is 9 years old, and she is now of an age where she feels the loss of her father. You see, when I say DaBaby, it is planting seeds of dysfunction within his girls, Carter's seeds have now begun to bear fruit. So many women who watch this channel and others alike it have suffered because of their childhood daddy issues. They either had absentee fathers or fathers that were unavailable emotionally or mentally or physically even abusive. Our relationships with our father or lack thereof tend to color our future relationships with men. This video isn't so much about DaniLeigh or Paris Hilton. It is about the men in their lives, the baby daddies in their lives. Because DaBaby, of course, is the baby daddy of several children. I believe three. And Paris's new husband, Carter, is himself a baby daddy of a 9-year-old child, that a 9-year-old daughter that he has not seen, well, he's seen once in her life. So that is what we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss the origins of women like a DaniLeigh or like a Paris Hilton, like the women who visit this channel. We are going to discuss the men who create the environment, the perfect storm for women who dishonor themselves. Let's begin with DaBaby. DaBaby, first of all, a grown-ass man calling himself DaBaby, that ought to tell you everything you want to know right there. But he is a rapper and he is oh so problematic. Not too long ago, he made some disparaging, disrespectful, anti-gay, anti-lesbian, anti-trans remarks that put him in hot water. He lost some endorsements. He was kicked out of a tour he was performing on during that time. He has subsequently went to some sort of sensitivity training and spoken to representatives of the gay, lesbian, and trans community, and they are somehow satisfied that he has learned his lesson. Yet, despite that, this man is on Instagram Live with his 3-month-old daughter, throwing out her mother into the streets and calling her his side bitch. And what I find just like, talk about mind blowing, is he considers himself a good father. And it's crazy how men like that have this distorted view of what a father is, a good father is or should be. He has a 3-month-old daughter with DaniLeigh. And her introduction to this world is him calling the police on her, humiliating her on Instagram Live for all the world to see. And yet he has the audacity to say, well, I put my children first, my children come first, I take care of my children. And yet, look at how he treats the mother of their children, of his children. And he has the same lack of regard for how his actions affect his other daughter with Mimi. And there's also this sort of colorism dynamic, which DaniLeigh created when she did this song, apparently Yellowbone. He likes yellowbone women, meaning that he, DaBaby, or black men in general, prefer light-skinned women such as herself. And the fact that he allowed that sort of dynamic to be created, again, shows me the quality of human being he is, number one, but the quality of father that he is, and his lack of self-awareness. And for him to be on board with DaniLeigh making a song saying he likes yellow bones and lighter skinned women, that is offensive. That is disrespectful to his dark skinned child. And yet he allowed it. And yes, I say he allowed it because if he did not want her to make that song, she would not have done it. And yet this man is completely and utterly oblivious to the damage he is causing, to the seeds he is planting in this young, dark-skinned child. Next, let's talk about Paris's new husband, Carter. Carter's baby mama is a former reality star named Laura Belzy. They have a daughter who is 9 years old, who he has only seen once in her life. Now, he and Paris, of course, have had this grandiose wedding. His daughter has been completely left out of his life. Apparently, not only has she had a difficult time coping with her father's absence, she has been affected by all the publicity surrounding his marriage to Paris Hilton. This girl is 9 years old, and she is now of an age where she feels the loss of her father. You see, when I say DaBaby, it is planting seeds of dysfunction within his girls, Carter's seeds have now begun to bear fruit. This child wants to have a relationship with her father, and her entire life, this man has rejected her. Now, think about this, you guys. Paris and this man, they've had like 3 different wedding celebrations over the last week. Imagine having that in your face all over the news. Do not be fooled by rich men like him, because it takes a certain amount of cruelty to treat your child like this. Once news of this child was reported, he released a statement, and I quote, "The people who this story matters to have known about it for 10 years. Carter supports his child. While he does not have a traditional father-daughter relationship with her, he has provided for her since she was born and will continue to do so." Now, you guys, that is some cold-blooded, cold-hearted shit right there. I just can't say it any other way. I cannot say it any other way. You released a statement to the world that, yeah, I got a kid, I don't have a relationship with her, but everybody, Paris knows, the mama knows, everybody needs to know, everybody knows that I don't claim this child. I support her financially, but that's it. How much damage do you think this is doing to that girl? And I also have to put her mother, I got to say some words about her mother too, because no one knew about this for 10 years, right? No one knew about this. They've had this non-relationship. This dynamic has been going on for all this time. Why is it suddenly being made public now? Because he's married to Paris Hilton? Is this about her? Or is this her attempt to shame him? That little girl will most assuredly have self-esteem issues. Every single day, she looks in the mirror and says, "I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to have a relationship with my father. My father doesn't want me. I'm not good enough to be invited to their wedding. I'm not good enough to be acknowledged. I'm not good enough. Every day, Carter makes that little girl feel unworthy. And you better believe that is going to manifest itself in her future relationships with men. Because that's how it works, guys, right? That's how it works. But the lack of regard, the lack of acknowledgement for the trauma inflicted upon women is just sort of par for the course for someone like DaBaby, and obviously Carter too. You know, particularly for the DaBaby, who is surrounded by these types of broken women with low self-esteem and a feeling of unworthiness, because obviously they put up with the type of behavior that he displayed to DaniLeigh, the type of disrespect, the type of disregard, the type of, you're my baby mama, you're my baby mama, I'm gonna screw you, I'm gonna screw that one, and you better not say anything about it. If you do, I'm gonna put you out. And for him to not be cognizant of how that example is going to impact the lives of his daughter is unconscionable. And when I think of this, I also think of Floyd Mayweather's daughter, who may be sent to prison for 20 years for, I think she stabbed one of the a baby mama of her current boyfriend, NBA young boy, whatever. It's some more ghetto ratchet baby mama crap. But this is the daughter of a multi-millionaire who has a fractured relationship with her father, and now she has this messed up relationship with this young rapper who couldn't care less about her. She's fighting over him. She was fighting over him, and she's the one potentially going to prison. Of course, had a baby, and he's free and clear. And another thing that trips me out is Paris is fully aware of the fact that this man has no relationship with his child, never has. I wonder how he explained that to her. I wonder how he justified it. Now, she may have decided to take the position that, you know what, that is his relationship with his baby mama. I have no right to get in the middle of it, that this was before me, that's their thing. I'm not going to get in the middle of it. That is the position she may have taken, unlike Mimi and DaniLeigh going back with their ratchetness, fighting over a dude who couldn't care less about either one of them. I don't care what happened between Carter and his ex-girlfriend, baby mama, Laura, whatever. That should not impact his relationship with his child. He chooses not to see this child. He chooses not to have a relationship with this child. He chooses to dismiss this child. And that is so incredibly painful to a young girl. That how can you not take that into adulthood? How can that not cause you issues and impact your judgment of men and how you select men and your criteria for men? It is virtually impossible, or it takes, unless you've had tons and tons and tons of therapy, for that not to have some sort of residual effect. It's just not possible. And you look at somebody like DaBaby, and he's from the hood, ghetto, blah, blah, blah. But somebody like Carter, you would think would know better, right? He's affluent, he's wealthy, he comes from, this lifestyle of affluence. They have psychiatrists, psychologists, access to all the best. And yet he is no better than DaBaby. In some respects, he is worse than DaBaby. Every single day, he tells this little girl that I don't want you. And someday Paris wants to have children. I mean, as she should. This has got nothing. I mean, hey, she's 40 years old. That's her husband. Of course, she's going to want to have children. But how is this child going to feel when she sees her father and Paris and the baby like one big happy family? Yet throughout her entire life, she has not even been acknowledged. I don't understand how any woman can be with a man who can be that cruel to his own innocent child. You know, Paris better watch her back. A man who can wake up every day knowing that his daughter wakes up every day asking herself, why not me? Is no one to be played with. And these days, the daughters of men like DaBaby and Carter are often the ones, you know, surviving R. Kelly or on drugs or in abusive relationships. These are the type of girls. And it also goes to show it doesn't matter if you're black, white, rich, poor. A trash man is a trash man. A deadbeat dad is a deadbeat dad. And as disgusted as I am with DaBaby and Carter and the disregard that they have for the lives and futures of their girls, I am equally disgusted by the women who allow this. The women that allow these types of men to plant the seeds of dysfunction, toxicity, and low self-esteem within their daughters. So my heart really goes out to the daughters of DaBaby and Carter, because despite the fame and fortune of their fathers, these little girls are going to have an uphill battle in terms of their relationship with men because of their dysfunctional relationship with their fathers and the daddy issue. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, thumbs it up, you guys. Thumbs it up, and do not forget to follow me on this channel as well as my second channel, Pretty and Things. Also, do not forget to follow me on Instagram. The links to everything will be below. So until next time.